Have you ever thought about what it truly means to reinvent yourself? Maybe you've spent decades building a career, raising a family, or fulfilling responsibilities. And now, as you step into your 60s or beyond, you find yourself wondering, what's next for me? If so, you're not alone. This stage of life is a unique opportunity to redefine who you are, explore new passions, and create a future that excites you. What if I told you that reinventing yourself after 60 isn't just possible, it's one of the most rewarding adventures you can embark on? Let me start by addressing something many people in this age group wrestle with: the fear of starting over. It's easy to feel like the best years are behind you, or that it's too late to try something new. But here's the truth. Your 60s and beyond can be some of the most fulfilling years of your life if you approach them with curiosity and courage. Reinvention doesn't mean erasing everything you've done up to this point. Instead, it's about building on the foundation you've already created. It's about rediscovering the dreams, talents, and curiosities that may have been set aside along the way. Today, we're diving into the art of reinvention, a journey that's less about starting from scratch and more about reconnecting with the parts of yourself that bring you joy. Over the course of this series, we'll explore practical steps to help you reimagine your identity, pursue new goals, and embrace this next chapter with confidence and purpose. Whether you're looking to pivot professionally, dive into a creative hobby, or simply live with greater intention, these strategies will guide you every step of the way. Let's begin with one of the most important first steps in reinvention: self-reflection. Before you can move forward, it's essential to take stock of where you are and what you want. Ask yourself, what brings me joy? What am I curious about? What would make me proud to look back on in 5 or 10 years? These questions might feel daunting at first, but they're also incredibly liberating. They invite you to dream again, to imagine a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. Self-reflection is like shining a light into the corners of your heart and mind, uncovering hidden desires and untapped potential. One powerful exercise is to write down 3 things you loved doing earlier in life, but haven't made time for recently. It could be painting, gardening, writing, traveling, or even learning something new. For example, a woman I met named Margaret realized she'd always wanted to paint, but never had the chance because of work and family obligations. At 65, she signed up for an art class, and within months, her paintings were being showcased in local galleries. She told me, "I didn't know I had this in me. It's like I discovered a whole new side of myself." Stories like Margaret's remind us that it's never too late to reconnect with the things that light us up. The key is to give yourself permission to explore without judgment. You don't need to be perfect at something to enjoy it. In fact, the process of discovering and learning is often where the real magic happens. So, whether it's picking up a guitar for the first time, planting a vegetable garden, or finally taking that pottery class you've been curious about, let this be the moment you say yes to yourself. Now, let's talk about another key aspect of reinvention: embracing change. Change often gets a bad rap, especially as we age. Many people associate it with uncertainty or discomfort, but here's the truth. Growth doesn't happen without stepping outside your comfort zone. Whether it's trying a new activity, meeting new people, or simply adopting a fresh perspective, leaning into change opens doors you didn't even know existed. Think about it. How many times in your life have you grown the most when you stepped out of your routine? Perhaps it was moving to a new city, starting a new job, or traveling to an unfamiliar place. Those moments may have felt scary at first, but they also brought excitement, discovery, and personal growth. The same principle applies to reinventing yourself after 60. It's about saying yes to opportunities even if they push you out of your comfort zone, because you trust that they'll lead to something meaningful. Here's a practical tip: start small. If public speaking terrifies you, but you've always wanted to share your story, consider joining a low-pressure group like Toastmasters. If fitness has never been your thing but you're curious about yoga, try a beginner-friendly online class in the comfort of your home. Each tiny step builds courage and confidence, making bigger leaps feel less intimidating over time. The beauty of starting small is that it allows you to build momentum gradually. For instance, if you've always dreamed of volunteering but aren't sure where to begin, start by researching organizations in your area. Attend a single event or meeting to see how it feels. Once you're comfortable, commit to a regular schedule. Over time, what once felt foreign becomes second nature, and you'll wonder why you waited so long to take that first step. Before we move on, take a moment to reflect. When was the last time you did something completely new? Was it exciting? Scary? Both? Whatever it was, remember how it felt to stretch yourself. That's the magic of reinvention. Every experience shapes you, and each decision moves you closer to becoming the person you want to be. As you think about your own journey, ask yourself, what's one small step I can take today toward exploring something new? Speaking of exploration, let's talk about the role of community in reinvention. While reinventing yourself is a deeply personal journey, it doesn't have to be a solitary one. Surrounding yourself with supportive, like-minded individuals can make all the difference when it comes to pursuing new dreams. Whether it's joining a club, attending workshops, or connecting with others online, finding your tribe provides encouragement, accountability, and inspiration. For example, imagine deciding to learn photography in your 60s. On your own, it might feel overwhelming to figure out camera settings, lighting techniques, and editing software. But if you join a photography group or take a class, you'll meet people who share your passion and can offer guidance and support. Suddenly, what seemed daunting becomes fun and collaborative. Plus, these connections often lead to friendships that enrich your life in unexpected ways. Community also helps combat loneliness, which can creep in during major life transitions like retirement or relocating. By staying engaged with others, you not only expand your social circle, but also reinforce your sense of purpose. One man I spoke with, John, joined a hiking group in his late 60s after retiring. He said, "I wasn't sure I'd fit in, but everyone was so welcoming. Now, I look forward to our weekly hikes. It's become my favorite part of the week." Stories like John's highlight the transformative power of connection. By the way, if you're finding these ideas inspiring and want to continue learning how to reinvent yourself after 60, please consider subscribing to our channel. When you subscribe, you'll gain access to more videos packed with tips, stories, and actionable advice tailored specifically for thriving in this incredible stage of life. Sharing this content with a friend spreads positivity and empowers others to embrace their own journey of reinvention. Together, we can redefine what it means to grow older. All right, now that we've covered self-reflection, embracing change, and the importance of community, let's shift gears slightly and talk about setting meaningful goals, the foundation of any successful reinvention. Goals give you direction, focus, and a sense of accomplishment as you check off milestones along the way. But here's the catch. They need to be realistic, specific, and aligned with your values. In the next segment, we'll dive deeper into how to identify your priorities, break them into manageable steps, and stay motivated throughout the process. Stick around, there's so much more goodness ahead. Let's pick up where we left off, shall we? We've already explored the importance of self-reflection, embracing change, and finding community as foundational steps in reinventing yourself after 60. Now, let's dive into one of the most exciting parts of this journey, setting meaningful goals. Goals are like a roadmap. They give you direction, focus, and a sense of accomplishment as you move forward. But here's the key. They need to resonate with you, not what others expect or what society says you should do at this stage of life. One of the biggest mistakes people make when setting goals is aiming too high too quickly. While ambition is admirable, unrealistic expectations can lead to frustration and burnout. Instead, think about breaking your goals into smaller, manageable steps that feel achievable. For example, if you've always dreamed of writing a memoir but the thought of tackling an entire book feels overwhelming, start by committing to writing just one paragraph a day. Over time, those paragraphs will add up, and before you know it, you'll have pages upon pages of stories to share. Here's another practical tip. Use the SMART framework to guide your goal-setting process. SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Let's break it down. If your goal is to get fit, instead of saying, "I want to exercise more," try something like, "I will walk for 20 minutes 3 times a week for the next month." This approach gives you clarity, accountability, and a timeline to measure your progress. And remember, it's okay to adjust your goals as you go. Life is fluid, and so should be your plans. Now, let's talk about aligning your goals with your values. As we age, many of us begin to realize that time is precious, and we don't want to waste it on pursuits that don't truly matter to us. Take a moment to reflect. What brings you joy? What makes you feel alive? Is it spending more time outdoors, learning a new skill, volunteering, or perhaps mentoring younger generations? Whatever it is, let your answers guide your goals. When your actions align with your values, you'll find a deeper sense of fulfillment and purpose. For instance, consider the story of Ruth, a retired teacher who decided to channel her love for education into tutoring children in her community. She told me, "I wasn't ready to stop teaching, I just needed a different format. Now, I work one-on-one with kids who struggle with reading, and it's incredibly rewarding." Ruth's decision to pivot based on her passion for teaching allowed her to stay connected to what mattered most to her while making a difference in others' lives. Her example shows that reinvention doesn't require starting from scratch. It's often about reshaping what you already love. Speaking of pivoting, let's shift gears slightly and talk about another powerful way to reinvent yourself: pursuing lifelong learning. The idea that education ends once you leave school couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, studies show that continuing to learn throughout life boosts cognitive function, improves memory, and enhances emotional well-being. Plus, it's just plain fun. Whether it's taking a cooking class, mastering a musical instrument, or diving into history or science, there's no limit to what you can explore. Thanks to technology, learning has never been more accessible. Platforms like Coursera, Masterclass, and YouTube offer courses on virtually any topic imaginable. Libraries often host free workshops or book clubs too. One man I met in his early 70s decided to teach himself how to play the piano using online tutorials. He admitted, "I didn't think I'd have the patience, but it's become my favorite part of the day. It's like giving myself a gift." Lifelong learning isn't just about acquiring knowledge, it's about staying curious, engaged, and open to growth. Before we move on, take a moment to reflect. What's one thing you've always wanted to learn but haven't yet? Maybe it's speaking a new language, painting with watercolors, or understanding astronomy. Whatever it is, remind yourself that it's never too late to start. Learning keeps your mind sharp, your spirit young, and your world full of wonder. Now, let's circle back to motivation, an essential ingredient in achieving your goals. Staying motivated can be challenging, especially when life gets busy or setbacks arise. But here's the secret: motivation often follows action, not the other way around. In other words, don't wait until you feel like it to take the first step. Instead, commit to showing up consistently, even on days when inspiration feels elusive. Over time, Those small efforts compound, creating momentum that carries you forward. One strategy that works wonders is celebrating your progress along the way. Did you finish your first art class? Celebrate it. Walked 5 miles this week instead of 3. That's worth acknowledging. Each milestone, no matter how small, is proof that you're moving closer to the person you want to become. And don't underestimate the power of visual reminders, like keeping a journal or creating a vision board, to track your achievements and keep your dreams top of mind. By the way, if you're enjoying this conversation and finding these ideas inspiring, please consider subscribing to our channel. When you subscribe, you'll stay updated on future videos packed with tips, stories, and actionable advice tailored specifically for thriving after 60. Sharing this content with a friend spreads positivity and empowers others to embrace their own journey of reinvention. Every action counts and yours matters. All right, now that we've covered goal setting, lifelong learning, and staying motivated, let's zoom in on another transformative aspect of reinvention: cultivating resilience. Life after 60 comes with its share of challenges, from health concerns to unexpected changes in routine. But resilience, the ability to bounce back from adversity, is a skill you can develop, and it plays a crucial role in helping you navigate this chapter with grace and strength. In the next segment, we'll explore strategies to build resilience, overcome obstacles, and maintain a positive outlook, no matter what life throws your way. So stick around, there's so much more goodness ahead. Let's keep this momentum going, shall we? We've already covered some incredible ground: self-reflection, embracing change, setting meaningful goals, and the joy of lifelong learning. Now, let's turn our attention to a topic that's essential for anyone reinventing themselves after 60: resilience. Life is unpredictable, and while we can't control everything that happens to us, we can control how we respond. Building resilience not only helps you navigate challenges, but also empowers you to thrive in the face of adversity. Resilience isn't something you're born with, it's a skill you develop over time through practice and perspective. One of the most powerful ways to cultivate resilience is by reframing setbacks as opportunities for growth. Think about it. Every challenge you encounter carries a lesson, even if it doesn't feel that way in the moment. For example, imagine you've decided to take up running as part of your reinvention journey, but after a few weeks, you injure your knee. Instead of seeing this as a failure, you could view it as a chance to explore other forms of exercise, like swimming or yoga, that might be gentler on your body. Reframing setbacks in this way shifts your mindset from one of defeat to one of possibility. Here's another strategy for building resilience: practicing gratitude. Gratitude isn't just a feel-good habit. It's a powerful tool for shifting your focus away from what's going wrong and toward what's going right. Even in tough times, there are always things to be thankful for: a supportive friend, a beautiful sunset, or simply the fact that you're still here, capable of reinventing yourself. Try ending each day by writing down 3 things you're grateful for. Over time, this practice trains your brain to notice the positives, even when life feels overwhelming. Now, let's talk about self-compassion, an often overlooked yet vital component of resilience. Many of us are quick to extend kindness to others, but struggle to treat ourselves with the same care. If you've ever found yourself thinking, "I should be doing better," or "Why can't I figure this out?" you're not alone. But here's the truth: being kind to yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary. Self-compassion involves treating yourself with understanding and patience, especially during difficult moments. For example, if you miss a workout or don't meet a goal you set for yourself, instead of beating yourself up, try saying, "It's okay. Tomorrow is a new opportunity." You might also experiment with affirmations, short, positive statements that reinforce your worth. Phrases like "I am enough," "I'm doing my best," or I deserve happiness can help rewire negative thought patterns over time. Another way to build resilience is by leaning on your support system. No matter how independent you are, everyone needs help sometimes, and asking for it is a sign of strength, not weakness. But never hesitate to reach out when you need encouragement or advice. Whether it's a close friend, family member, or community group, having people who believe in you can make all the difference. I once met a woman named Linda who had recently lost her spouse and was struggling to find her footing. She joined a grief support group and told me, "Just knowing I wasn't alone made everything easier." These people became my second family. Stories like hers remind us that connection is a cornerstone of resilience. Before we move on, take a moment to reflect. How do you currently handle challenges? Are there areas where you could practice more self-compassion or seek support from others? Reinvention isn't a solo journey. It's about surrounding yourself with tools, resources, and people who uplift you. Every step you take toward building resilience brings you closer to living a life filled with purpose and joy. Speaking of purpose, let's shift gears slightly and talk about finding meaning in this next chapter of your life. Purpose isn't just about achieving big milestones. It's about contributing to something larger than yourself. Research shows that having a sense of purpose is linked to better physical health, improved mental well-being, and even increased longevity. So, how do you discover or rediscover your purpose? Start by asking yourself, what am I passionate about? What impact do I want to have on the world around me? For many people, volunteering becomes a meaningful way to give back while staying engaged. Whether it's mentoring young people, serving meals at a shelter, or participating in environmental cleanups, volunteering connects you to a larger mission. One woman I spoke with volunteers at her local library twice a week, organizing bookshelves and assisting patrons. She told me, "It gives me a reason to get up in the morning. Plus, I meet the nicest people." Volunteering doesn't have to be a big commitment. Even a few hours a month can make a difference. And if leaving home isn't always feasible, there are plenty of virtual opportunities, too, like tutoring students online or transcribing historical documents. By the way, if you're finding these strategies inspiring and want to continue learning how to reinvent yourself after 60, please consider subscribing to our channel. When you subscribe, you'll stay updated on future videos packed with tips, stories, and actionable advice tailored specifically for thriving in this incredible stage of life. Sharing this content with a friend spreads positivity and empowers others to embrace their own journey of reinvention. Together, we can redefine what it means to grow older. All right, now that we've explored resilience, purpose, and giving back, let's zoom out a bit and talk about balance. Reinventing yourself isn't about adopting all these habits at once. It's about integrating them into your life in a way that feels sustainable and joyful. In the next segment, we'll wrap things up by discussing how to prioritize these practices, celebrate your progress, and continue growing with confidence. So stick around, we're saving some of the best insights for last. As we bring this series to a close, let's take a moment to reflect on the incredible journey we've been on together. We've explored so many facets of reinvention, self-reflection, embracing change, setting meaningful goals, lifelong learning, resilience, purpose, and giving back. Each of these elements is like a thread in the tapestry of your life after 60, weaving together to create something vibrant, fulfilling, and uniquely yours. And now, it's time to tie it all together with some actionable takeaways that will help you continue moving forward with confidence and joy. First, remember that reinvention is not a destination, it's a process. It's about showing up every day, making small but intentional choices, and trusting that those choices will lead to transformation over time. You don't need to have everything figured out right away. What matters most is taking that first step, no matter how uncertain it feels. Whether it's signing up for a class, writing down your goals, or simply committing to 5 minutes of gratitude each evening, every action moves you closer to becoming the person you want to be. Second, prioritize balance. Thriving isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about creating harmony between different aspects of your life. For example, if you spend an hour pursuing a new hobby today, perhaps tomorrow you'll dedicate that same amount of time to connecting with loved ones or indulging in self-care. Listen to your body and mind, they'll tell you what they need most. Aging gracefully and reinventing yourself is about giving yourself permission to rest, recharge, and enjoy the process. Third, set realistic goals and celebrate your wins along the way. Let's say you decide to learn a new skill, like photography or gardening. Instead of aiming for mastery right away, start with manageable milestones. For instance, commit to taking one photo a day or planting one flower bed. As you build momentum, gradually increase your efforts. And don't forget to acknowledge your progress. Did you capture a beautiful sunset? Celebrate it. Notice your garden blooming with color. That's worth celebrating too. Recognizing your achievements fuels motivation and keeps you moving forward. Here's a story that beautifully illustrates the power of small, consistent actions. A man named Harold, who was in his early 70s, decided he wanted to write a memoir after retiring. At first, the idea felt overwhelming. He hadn't written anything substantial in decades. But instead of focusing on the enormity of the task, he committed to writing just 1 page a day. Over time, those pages added up, and within 2 years he had completed a manuscript. When I asked him how he stayed motivated, he smiled and said, "I focused on the joy of telling my story, not the fear of getting it perfect." His story reminds us that transformation happens step by step, often in ways we can't predict. Now, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a heartfelt reminder. You are capable of incredible growth and change, no matter where you are in life. Reinventing yourself after 60 isn't about erasing the past, it's about building on the foundation you've already created. Whether it's deepening your relationships, pursuing passions you've always dreamed of exploring, or simply living with greater intention, the choices you make today shape the person you become tomorrow. If you've found value in this series and want to continue receiving tips, inspiration, and practical advice tailored specifically for thriving after 60, please consider subscribing to our channel. When you subscribe, you'll be part of a supportive community dedicated to living life to its fullest potential. Plus, sharing this content with someone else spreads positivity and empowers others to embark on their own journey of reinvention. Together, we're stronger. Before we say goodbye, I want to share one final thought. Reinvention isn't just about discovering who you can be, it's about remembering who you are. As George Eliot once wrote, "It's never too late to be what you might have been." This stage of life offers a unique opportunity to reconnect with your authentic self, embrace curiosity, and live boldly. Every sunrise offers a new chance to redefine what it means to grow older and wiser. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Your presence here means the world, and I'm honored to play a small role in helping you create a life filled with meaning and fulfillment. If you have questions, thoughts, or ideas for future topics, please drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, remember, the best is yet to come. Here's to reinventing yourself and savoring every moment along the way.